If Lands Could Kill, featuring Knifecity, Ryke, Samhain Crow, and Hot Sauce.
Welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
Samhain Crow, Hot Sauce,
Peppermint Swirl.
What?
You're not Ryke.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Ryke is
Getting
going.
gangbanged with
Not
Caribbeans.
funny.
What is he doing? He's like going to the Bahamas.
Yeah, all of a sudden we texted him like, "Hey, you're coming over, right? It's getting a little late." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm packing to go to Cabo."
Oh, Cabo.
Yeah, like, that's just a thing.
Cabo, Caribbean,
Just
whatever.
a thing you do, I guess.
Even though you got like hit on those taxes or whatever, I don't know. Either way, like I
Somebody
feel,
investigate that guy.
he was saying like, "Oh man, money's not good right now. Let's go to Cabo."
I need to get out of the country quick.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, one-way ticket.
I need a Cabana Boy, man. Leave him alone. Come
Yeah,
on.
pretty much.
Do you have any goat you can buy down there for $5?
He said he'd try to make it to a donkey show for us.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's a beautiful thing down there.
Well, this is episode 26, and you know what? Let's get a little backstory on this whole Peppermint Swirl thing. I mean, you guys have been hearing about him since like episode 2, I want to say. We've just been referencing him here and there. So take it away, Pep.
We just came up with this, but I'm administrator of things, buyer of foils
That do
that
not
lose value very quickly.
He was the first one to like foil out his standard deck, and none of it retained value. After rotation, it just all went down.
Well, no, wait.
The sleeves they're still in are worth money.
What's the white 4-mana thing that you got that like
It's
still holds
the,
like $5? It's like that
The
rhino.
monk.
That fucking rhino
Yeah.
thing. I don't
It
know.
doubles your life whenever you gain life.
what's its
Rock's
name?
Faith Mender.
yeah.
Rock's Faithmender.
Yeah, funny enough, that's my Reddit handle.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you just gave it. You're giving away too much information.
I was into it. I don't.
People can find you now. God damn it.
So how the hell do we even like know you? How'd you end up at this table?
He gave me a
well-
blowjob. That's the first time I met him.
Yeah, he was a cheap buy though. It started, I guess, with as you told in the first episode, was Risk Legacy.
Indeed.
I was a quarter of that fair, and after that, just led into the Magic. I was super stoked on the Magic. Learned it with these guys, and then
We actually like had it at his house for most of the time.
yeah,
That's where we troubleshot all the rules.
Yeah.
Like we all figured out like what the stack was and everything.
Risk Legacy was at his house too.
Yep.
I don't think the stack ever even happened then. That was we were pretty rough, but.
We were still just
Yeah.
jerking our
If I played
flaccid 12-year-old penises at that point.
If I
We
play
couldn't
this,
even get it up.
happens. It just happens. I did this. It happens. I'm sorry. Nope. Can't do anything.
Yep. And then we found Ask a Judge. That was
Yes,
a
Ask a
game
Judge.
changer.
That is very helpful. Yeah, I like that.
I still use that from time to time. Me and the sauce, like,
And it
what
works
the
on
fuck?
it works on mobile. That's the best part.
Yeah,
You sit there with your cell phone anywhere and just use it. Badass. That's not funny though. Let's get on something funny.
I always wanted to be part of the podcast when you guys were talking about it. So as limited of a scope as I could have with it, I guess I helped with the website, and that's about
Yeah,
it.
you helped with the website. You're the one who came up with our logo.
Yes, I did. It sucks.
All of our art.
all of our art except that sweet skull with the beard.
I love that
was
thing,
the
dude.
sauce.
That's
Did like
sick.
Sauce draw that up on like
Microsoft.
MS Art or something?
I actually use
Paint
Crayola
I
for kids.
I use Photoshop. I just don't know how to use Photoshop.
You might as well have just use Paint.
Yeah.
But then I spent like 3 hours trying to come up with a better one, and it just sucked.
Yeah, he made like 6 of them. He's like, these are all the different options, different beards, different like background, like the color will like fade in and out of like whatever and blah blah blah. And then I'm like, I still just think the shitty one. Is
The one
better.
that the 4-year-old girl using Photoshop made it.
The
That looks
shitty
the
one.
best.
I still love the shitty one. I still have that on our MTG cast.
Kind of your guys' motto, though, right? I still like the shitty
You,
one.
you
Yeah,
have
I
that
like
up when
the
you're
shitty
streaming
ones.
on Twitch too.
Oh, hey.
Usually,
Yeah, that's
I
our
like
that's
that.
our overlay.
yeah,
and
I like that.
we all got beards.
And we all got beards.
We all got
Minus the small Asian man who's not here
Yeah,
now.
except for Rykington.
Yeah.
The beardless. Right,
Beardless.
Sir Rikington the Beardless.
Game of Thrones name.
That is, if he was on a Magic card, that would be his name.
He would have died first season.
Everybody dies first
The
season.
beard is not strong with this one.
So you've been getting back into Magic recently?
Yes, a reawakening, if you will.
Your spark ignited again. And,
Something
Origins. Don't worry about it. You don't even know.
so lost. That's what happens when. Anyways, so
He makes very horrible magic puns, and you just kind of have to go with it sometimes.
oh, they're magical, all right. So yeah, what'd you buy recently to get back into it?
I bought the Fate Reforged Clash Pack, the Power and Profit. Really, it was my girlfriend's playing Magic too, and she wanted a new deck. I wanted a new deck, and that's 2 decks. So I got it in a pack with 2 decks, and it seemed to work. So she got her pick. I ended up with the black-blue.
Well, they're all Sultai colored, both
Yes,
sides.
Right. Sure.
One's like splashing,
Sultai.
one's splashing green, the other one's like splashing blue or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
this
one's
one
more
is the
green.
one
Is that what's wrong with
splashing
that?
green.
That's like-
I know one is with Erebos, and then the other one has Delve.
I thought
so one
one-
brings them back, one uses.
I
the
thought
big
one
guy.
was just green black and the other was straight Sultai. I don't know. Anyways, this is the one with Hero's Downfall in it.
Yeah, I bought the pack. I told her, you get your choice. She, like most girls, just looked at the pictures and the colors and was like, this is the deck to get. So I ended up with the one with Hero's Downfall in it. I haven't played it yet. I just brought it over as is.
We're gonna beef
give
it
it
up a little
shot
bit.
tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a dry run, see how it plays out of the box.
Put it in
and then,
dry, and then after that, we'll fiddle with it a little bit.
And then let the expert novices have a go at
Should
it.
have told him that. I would have brought an intro pack to play against you with that deck.
We are absolutely expert novices. It is
Yeah, we're
so
like-
true.
Top level novices.
Top level novices.
Yeah. Like we look down on all the other novices.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're
The Navi.
Almost
Yeah.
can't call
Is the
ourselves noobs
plural, I
anymore.
think.
Even though I'm like 4 months in.
I think
or 5
James
months
Cameron
in.
might have a problem with that Navi. It might be copyright.
Ooh.
The Navi.
Listen!
That was a shitty
James
movie,
Cameron
man.
doesn't do what James
They make it
Cameron
that
was-
Zelda
That was
reference?
just Fern Gully times
God
1,000, dude.
Pretty
Fuck-
much.
Fuck Avatar.
pretty much. But they
No
did have.
fucking storyline, just
Absolutely.
explosions and pretty colors and.
But
just go watch
Yeah,
Fern
but-
Gully. You'll watch the same fucking movie. It's
Ponytail
Fern Gully.
sex, though.
But it is still like a magnificent feat of all the engineering and all the shit, all the graphical design behind it. But yeah, it is pretty fucking stupid of the movie. But
No, zero fucking plot. It's oh my god. They just watched Fern Gully and said, "Oh, let's make this on acid."
It's Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves.
Well, what have you been up to there, Hot Sauce, this week, this past 7 days since we last
Yeah, right.
podcasted?
So the toilet still broken. Not gonna pay
Still
the.
pinching your ass.
Yeah, not gonna pay the $30. So I don't know if you know this. This Peppermint Swirl, but last week I was wiping my ass, and I weight shifted. Weight shifted from right cheek
And
to left
apparently
cheek.
you have a pointy ass.
Yeah, weight shifted right cheek to left cheek, and my pointy ass with all my weight on it went ahead and cracked my fiberboard toilet seat. So I need to get a plastic one with some flex. Actually, carbon fiber would probably be best.
Dude, if you could foot the
Love
bill
that
for that,
kind of fiber.
oh man. We're making progress, though. At least you're wiping your ass.
Exactly.
He finally cut off the dingleberries. They've
I
been
got
growing there for years.
The wet wipes. I'm learning how to use them.
Oh, yeah.
They're good. They're real
Yeah.
good.
It's getting all matted and nappy in
Yeah, you can do this little jungle down there.
dreadlocks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that happened. I didn't buy a new fucking toilet seat, so that's that. Anyways, I played and finished Evil Within, so that I can now trade it in for Evolve. And Evil Within was like 16 and a half hours for me, which is a good amount of time for a super linear story, like as linear as the story can be. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. I mean, like the ending was fine, so-so, but just it didn't have like I don't want to talk about it. I can't because we got another guy over here that's playing it, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But either way, it was good. The whole thing was good all the way. Like every chapter, it's like 15 chapters all up to the end. Super solid. Thing is, linear games that are 16 hours long is just a long fucking game.
I was gonna say you keep kind of like contradicting yourself in the sense of saying, "Oh yeah, I mean, I was impressed. It was good, but it was just so fucking linear." It's like it just sounds like you're basically saying it's the same thing over and over again. There really wasn't.
No.
anything-
Linear is not that. linear means that
No
there is
choices on
No
your
choices.
path.
Well, I
You just-
okay, I
that's it.
understand. I get what you're saying.
You know,
I just,
nothing
all
like that.
I'm getting at though is it sounds like you're saying, oh yeah, I give it props, but it was so linear. Like
No,
it's kinda,
linear is not. It's not repetitive in that way. It's just that just like Uncharted or like games like that, you know, like or God of War. Like there is no exploring. Like there's a corner you can go in to find like a chest or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
those kind of
I
games.
understand.
But you
Yeah.
just go through, and it's just the doors that are there is the ones you walk through. Like that's just simple as that. And you go to the next part.
It's not like Grand Theft Auto where you can just
No.
go do side missions and explore.
There
all
are
that shit.
there are zero side missions in this whole thing. It's just straight up just.
So just
go
for
through
like
the
a
story.
straight up story being 16 and a half hours gameplay is pretty impressive.
It is, but it's also like it's long, man. I mean, it's just long,
it is.
dude. But that's like the thing. Like,
for
when me and
$60 though. That's kind of short.
But like you said,
but you know, there's good replay. I
Is
think
there?
because
Okay.
you have like New Game Plus. New Game Plus is where like you keep all of your leveled up equipment and all the abilities and all that stuff,
Which
and
makes
you
it
can play
harder.
through the second game. It's like I played it on fucking easy, honestly, because like I had it on normal. I'm like, yeah, this is not happening because it's just like the ammo is so sparse that you just get stuck, and then you're gonna get in like you get to like a point in a level where like you have to just get through it, but you have no ammo, and then when you die, it goes back to the checkpoint. And you're like, well, I still have no ammo. I have to just keep trying it, and like your melee sucks. So like it's just fucking difficult. So anyways, everyone out there, they know I suck at games. So
gameplay aside, though, you said super linear, but you'll walk through a room and you literally inhabited the space for 10 seconds, but that room was just done up. They
it
spent
was gorgeous.
10 hours building
It
that
is
room.
exactly like there's so many parts like that where they just like flash in one thing and go to the next. You're like, well, that fucking room took forever to make. Exactly what you said. You know, it's beautiful. I gave it like me and Raheem were talking about it, and I gave it. I would give it a 8 out of 10 if I was reviewing games because it was the combat is not the combat, but like the aiming is just not on par with new games. Even though they probably do it on purpose to make it like stress you out more because you can't get the headshot that you want to get. If it played like Destiny or Call of Duty, you could pick up headshots all day and then ammo wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. Like you said, they probably made it so it's like that. Because I just started playing it, and it does have that like Resident Evil sort of
Made by the
like,
same people.
Yeah, exactly. But Resident Evil, it wasn't the easiest to like shoot, and I think that's kind of the point. And I really like the close over the shoulder thing. That just
it freaks you out.
We were talking about that. They pulled you in, like, now you can't see half the room, but
and you can't look around corners.
Damn it, that's stressful.
Even though it's third person, you can't look around corners for dick.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't allow you to. You can like get really close and like try, but like.
But
it
they
just
let
doesn't
you
allow
peek in the room.
Yeah, so they do all that stuff, and it's pretty fun. So I was doing that. I give the game, like, it's a purchase. It's better to rent or, like, borrow because it's, once again, you beat the story and you're pretty much done. I do want to continue on and do some New Game Plus because, like, I really just want to, like, level out all the shit. It's, like, really fun to, like,
It does have touch of RPG, too, where you can make things better.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like there's probably like 50 different, like, if you want to say like weapon trees and like ability trees, probably 50 different.
But it
things.
is the creepiest ability tree. Like you plug your brain in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that part. Where you
Shock
sit down in
therapy
the,
into it.
chair and
Yeah,
like,
that
the
was-
spikes go in your
that was
head,
fucking trippy.
and you flinch when it hits you in the head. You're like, oh shit. So those cool things. But besides that, they have like a season pass, and there's going to be 3 things in it, and 2 of them you play as the girl detective in it, which is just like a side character that you meet like out of like 3 of the fucking 15 chapters. And then there's 2 of those. It's like episode 1, episode 2, and then episode 3 of the season pass, you play as one of the enemies in the Evil Within. You play as one of the enemies.
That's kinda
And you
cool.
do like satanic ritual and like all kinds of weird like missions for the
bad guys.
the antagonist in the game. And that's like a really unique idea to like play as a bad guy. You're not playing as the bad guy. You're playing as one of his minions, and you're
Right.
doing tasks for him. And I don't know if you've seen this guy, but anyways, he has a vault for a head, like a little bank safe
No.
for a head. So when you see him, you realize how much of a pain in the ass he is, and it'd be like very fun to play as him. It sounds like pretty damn cool. So there's that. So I'll get evolved pretty soon, and. We got more stuff to talk about later, like we've been playing our Minimander, our Tiny Leaders decks and all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
But overall, it's just like been back and forth with Destiny and Evil Within this whole week. And really nothing else to talk about. I mean, I've just been pretty lazy, taking care of the house, blah, blah, blah. I've had like, personal house purchasing issues and all this weird stuff, but like nothing fun for the cast kind of shit. So, so take it away, somebody. That's the end of mine.
Well, real quick to comment on that, like I haven't been interested in Evil Within at all. overall. Based on how you talked about it, it doesn't sound that fun to me.
Right.
And it's like, I don't really care about the gore part of it. Like, yeah, that can be fun in games, like kind
A
of
lot of blood. Fuck.
And that's
So
fine.
much blood.
But I mean, it's just, and when it's just kind of there for there, I don't really give a shit about it. If there's a reason for it, it's a lot more exciting. But the fact that you said there is actually an ability kind of tree, that right there was the one thing that was like, oh, okay, well that right there for me makes it at least playable.
Yeah,
for
you
me
get
to
like
try.
your health, your sprint, like all the weapons have 5 or 6 different like things that you can do with them, and then
Bigger
each of
clips,
those
faster
Yeah.
reloads.
and each of those things have like 5 trees in themselves. So like you can go from like holding 5 ammo to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12, and like
Okay.
12 is the max. Whatever they still limit you like big time. So
Yeah, that was the thing though. Like just hearing it's linear, no side missions, no nothing else, and like just straight through. It's like games nowadays are just there's so many options of things to do. Typically,
I love linear. Some of my top games of my life have been very linear games.
Don't get me wrong, I love old school games too and whatnot now, but now I'm kind of spoiled in the sense that's like I get lost in open world games.
Right.
Like part of my thing I want to talk about is I got Far Cry 4 for Christmas. So it looked really interesting to me. I played Far Cry 2 for a bit. There were some issues with it I didn't like. I didn't play Far Cry 3, but Far Cry
it did have its
4
problem. Far Cry 1 was fucking handful of
I never
crap.
played that one, yeah.
Dude.
But Far Cry 4, I cracked that and got it for Christmas, and man, oh man, I definitely suggest it. That's a lot of fun.
Well, why don't you take it away, buddy?
That's fun.
Yeah, get going. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a good time. It's it takes you off and it's difficult enough. It adds a touch of stealth play to it. You know, you're able to like duck down and throw a rock to get the guards to look a different direction, kind of.
Even though it's like open, like in like a. Isn't it still
it's
just?
basically like India-ish, basically. Like,
Are there like
it's
a lot
kind
of-
of rap, but it's basically India. So.
Are there a lot of buildings, or is it still just like little like huts and all that kind of
It's-
stuff?
There's like
Trees,
little
bushes,
like
huts.
outposts and shit like that, but for the most part you're in the wild. And you're running around, there's like bridges, there's little roads, and you definitely run into towns and stuff, but really you're running through a lot of different roads, going mission to mission and side mission to mission and killing animals to like upgrade your ammo pouch, you can carry more ammo, or your gun pouch can carry another gun and it'll have a weapon slot available. Right. So there's a lot of open play to it and a lot of pretty cool shit to it. It's difficult enough that it gets you interested and keeps you like I'm playing on like normal mode because I'm past playing games on easy for the most part. Like I understand like Evil Within was difficult. I don't know how to judge that one.
I just suck. That's all it is. I mean, I just suck.
But I found like it's just more interesting to have at least a little. I don't like playing games like that where I haven't like played them before, have a background in that particular series on hard, because I'm like that'll just frustrate me. I'll get pissed off about it. But like on normal, it's difficult enough that you want to. Like, you have some issues. You definitely die a decent amount of times. It's fucking crazy when you're walking down the road. You don't happen to notice a rhino in the bushes, and he just fucking charges you and just rams your face in.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
having
what the
animals like
fuck? Are you kidding me?
That's pretty cool having all those like animals. I've seen like the elephants and other weird shit like that. It seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked the perk yet where I can ride elephants. I haven't chosen to yet.
So I wanted to touch on one thing that I was watching. Me and Raheem were watching a stream of Dying Light, which just came out end of last month.
That looks good.
That looks fucking really good. I was looking at the reviews of it just because. And I was watching the gameplay for like 20 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck, this looks awesome!" Like it's just this good open world like survival game where like when you die, it has like very negative impact on like your whatever you're gonna do next. But like it's not just like a DayZ or whatever where you're just dropped in the middle of nowhere every time, where it's just like this open world like do whatever kind of thing. This has like missions, but you still have that same survival feel. I thought that looked really, really good.
I mean,
but who knows?
Like, I wanted Dead Island to be really good. Like, I was really excited for Dead Island.
This is made by those guys.
I don't like hearing that.
But I know. I don't like Dead Island
because
either.
I was so fucking excited for Dead Island when they had the previews and like finally a legitimate fun zombie game besides like Left 4 Dead, which I love. But this is like an open world kind of thing, which just makes it a totally different style, which was
totally agree. By the way, it was disappointing.
And then I think I played 15 hours with it, and that was just because I was trying so hard to like it because I was so excited for it, and it was just the biggest piece of shit there was.
It was.
It was so frustrating to go from like the tower to make it over to some little hut, and it's like, okay, now I'm going from that hut back to the tower, back to that hut, back to the tower. Like the same mission with a different name.
Oh, it's so sad. I know, it's so stupid.
It's like, what the fuck? Nothing goddamn worth playing is happening.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the same spots I'm going to back and forth.
Raheem, was it good?
Amazing.
It looks
amazing.
The Dying Light looks good.
Dying Light looks amazing.
So
Dead Island is a flop.
just the teaser trailer they have out right now, like it looks. That's just a teaser trailer itself. There's no real gameplay in that trailer, and it looks fucking good just from that alone. So I agree. I'm excited to try that one.
Gameplay looks really good on
Speak up, buddy. Can't hear you back there.
There's a really good like free running mechanic to it.
Or you can have like a grappling hook.
Okay.
And well, besides that, yeah, it has like a lot of parkour.
Looks like you can climb like anything.
Anything. You can like grappling hook like
Hardcore parkour.
Like, yeah, it's hardcore
Parkour.
Parkour. So you have a grappling hook that can reach like no shit 100 feet or like 80 feet.
Oh shit.
And you can
Spider-Man,
just go
motherfucker.
everywhere, and it seems like really fun. And then the parkour aspect where you can just like climb whatever the fuck you want.
That's cool. I like that. That could add a
That
little
reminds
touch
me
of
of that
things.
Bionic Commando reboot. That was garbage. Oh, it was such a disappointment for
And
me.
you love that game.
Oh,
Remember the trailer where they're like, and
Yeah.
now with jumping. Like,
Yeah.
that was so good. Now you can jump. That was
You
like
can turn left or right.
Yeah, it was so funny.
So
No.
in Far Cry 4, like the bad guy, I love him. He's fucking cool as shit. Like in the first like opening scenes, like you're taking like your mom's ashes back to like this place in Kyrat, trying to like spread her ashes since her dying wish was. So you're going there, you're on this bus, this dude's trying to smuggle you in, and all of a sudden your bus gets stopped by some people, and your bus gets shot up, everybody gets killed essentially. And then like the head dude, like the head bad guy, shows up in a helicopter and like picks you up and whatnot. And he's just nuts. And like for me, like my favorite like comic book character is the Joker. And after that, like I love Loki. And before Loki is just like a comic one, I love the mythology of Loki. Like those are my two favorite. Like Batman's great. I love Batman, all kind of stuff. Fuck Superman. A lot of different comics I like or that kind of jazz. But my favorite is Joker and Loki outside of comics.
Right.
So I love that. Just want to like that comment in like the Dark Knight movie where some people just want to see the world burn. I think it's fucking great.
Right. No,
Like that comment, like it just kind of hits me. Like you have no interest for what he's doing. Like some people just want to see the world burn. And that's kind of, I don't know. It was a little fucked up, but I don't like the stupidity of the masses. It kind of really angers me. So I kind of adhere to Joker and Loki and that kind of style. So this guy is that kind of style in this game. He's just fucking nuts. He's out there. He's badass. And he's just kind of wild. So I'm excited to interact with him more because he's fucking cool as shit. So Far Cry 4, I definitely suggest it. It's a fucking fun game. The other thing I did was I decided to, with the tax return, go out and buy Evolve. And off of Hot Sauce's suggestions, because it looked sweet from the trailers I had seen, all kind of jazz, and he gave it thumbs up. So I went out and got that, and it is fucking awesome. Holy shit, it is difficult though. Like I went to play it, and like they have like I haven't played multiplayer yet. I've only played the single person. Cause I'm just trying to.
I've been looking at. I've only seen Twitch feeds, but it looks
It's definitely fun. I suggest it for sure.
very Left 4 Dead-y, but
Yeah, it definitely has that feel. You're doing the same things over and over again kind of thing. But so far, maybe 10 hours in, it doesn't like get boring because like it's kind of frustrating because it's fucking difficult as shit.
Yeah.
Like there's a mode where you can play like quick play and play like one little thing, or there's like the evacuation like campaign kind of deal where you play 5 missions in a row.
Right.
And you either choose the monster or the hunters, and each level you can choose what hunter you're playing.
and that's the one where the monster evolves each round, right?
Yeah, well, every round the
Every
monster's
round,
trying to
yeah.
evolve.
Right.
So I mean, and there's like rounds where you hunt the monsters. Other ones where like there's eggs. The monster like will hatch, like make a minion, and you're trying to destroy all the eggs in a time limit.
Okay.
There's another one where you're trying to like get the survivors to a waypoint, and like the last one of like the 5 map match is defend the home base while like the alpha monster. He's already like the monster starts at stage 3, which is alpha, and like has minions, and he's just like swarming you like a motherfucker. So it's a lot of fun, but like the first 2 times I played the little campaign, like 10 total matches, I only won 3 of the rounds.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck me, this is goddamn hard. And then like after you lose the first 2, like it gives you like the monster gets bonuses like to the map or whatever, like say get like he'll break open a dam and some eels will go in the water. So if you go in the water in the stage, like eels will attack you. Kind of there's things like that, all kinds of combinations. But like it'll actually at that point though, now that the monster's like won the first 2 rounds, it'll gonna give you a buffer, so it makes it a little easier to actually kill in round 3. So it kind of evens it out a little bit, so you're not just getting fucking raped the whole time. Like yeah, you still can lose, but it makes it a touch easier. So like 2 of those wins were after I've lost the first 2 rounds, so it was a little easier. So I don't even count it.
Good game though, fun.
A lot of fun. So after that though, I played it, and I think really what it is it forces you to, because there's a lot of RPG upgrade type factors to it, where you build your character up by doing like getting a certain amount of damage with your lightning gun, a certain amount of damage with your mines. So you have to build those up, and your characters get better, and you can unlock other characters that have different like the one hunter has. The assault guy has a lightning gun. The next assault guy you unlock has a flamethrower arm kind of deal. So I've noticed now that I've got to that guy, and I like him a lot better than the lightning gun dude. And I just feel he's stronger. So it kind of forces you to upgrade your things as you get better. Because at first it's just like, oh my god, this is fucking. It's not frustrating because it's fun, but it's like, what the fuck? This is so goddamn hard. This is stupid.
A little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, the learning curve, because you definitely have to. Like, you want to, as, the monster, just fucking start going in and slashing their faces off and kind of shit.
Bing bong.
Like, you can't... There's 3 monsters, a Kraken, a Wraith, and, the one you start off with. When you start off with, you just want to attack their face, but really you have to, you need to run away. As far as you can, evolve up, and still, stay stealthy and hidden, because they will fuck you up if you just try to go at them.
Well,
So
you guys
it's
know
a lot
my
of
games.
fun, though.
Learning curve is part of my games. I don't play new games. Evolve looks cool. I heard a lot about it from Sauce. It looks like a lot of fun, but I play old games, and I just play a lot of the same games. I'm all up in Destiny. But besides that, my main game is Kerbal Space Program, and just huge learning curve.
That seems I want to play
it.
it, but I feel like I would just get frustrated because of the learning curve.
It kind of,
But it's the most satisfying game.
It is so satisfying. You're building rockets and going to other planets. I think the first, it gives you 2 tutorials, or at least when I started it may give you more.
Is this
now.
an old computer game?
So I got it on Steam. It's actually still a beta game. It's not full release, I guess.
Okay,
but everybody's
that's why. You're talking about older games, and you went into that. I'm like, I've never heard of that. So
yeah, no,
what are you talking about?
it's old. It's a computer game. It's on Steam. It's the best game ever. I love it.
It was made for you. He says that.
Yeah.
Peppermint Swirl's if one game was made for me, this is the game made for me.
It's not flashy. It's use your brain to achieve this goal.
Yeah.
And then you kind of you set your own goals, or there's community.
Well, in the
goals,
beginning, you set your own goal. Well, the game has evolved a lot since I started playing it, and that's when I talked about it a lot. I've since given in to the fact that you guys don't give a shit about the game, but
if the podcast wasn't on right now, I would not ask any questions. I'm just being honest here.
Are we done here?
Can we move on?
Talking about Steam, there was a sale, so I downloaded Final Fantasy VII, baby. So I played that for a couple hours, and fuck yeah.
No, it started.
Final Fantasy VII.
Shut up! It started out as, yes, it was very sandbox. You just came up with your own thing. You had a full solar system to work with, and you had to get there and do whatever you wanted to do. But now they've added in missions. You have a mission control, and basically you get paid a certain amount of resources or whatever to achieve this goal, and then you get paid and you get reputation. But what it really is at the end of the day is if you're into space stuff, this game is for you. You build rockets, you get off a planet, you go to the moon, you build rovers. It's just
how's the skill tree? Do you have a rocket launcher?
There is a skill tree, though. You want to get started on that road.
Yeah.
You start off with...
Go ahead, James May.
Yeah. So,
several minutes later.
So you need to work on your delta V, which is your change in velocity, and you're going to need fuel to pay for that. So, no, there's a...
How many community college classes do I need to take to understand this game?
None. You're going to need to get into a better school.
Oh, damn it!
Sorry, it might not be your game,
Does Steam give
actually.
refunds?
You gotta turn in your fucking degree to get the game.
No, it is so much fun. The first month is frustrating as hell, but then when you figure it out, it just keeps giving and giving and giving. That said, I stepped away from it because it was just consuming me.
And it's also not Destiny.
And Destiny came out, and Destiny's much more instant reward. Anybody who says that Destiny's like, oh, I gotta grind to get anything, I just say you don't fucking understand. play Kerbal.
You never played Pokemon, and you're not worthy of Destiny.
I hate when me and Raheem talk about the game, and we're like, oh man, I just need these fucking shards. I need like all this whatever material. And Peppermint Swirl's like, it's so easy. Like, you're just how are you guys behind it? I have 1,000 of those, and I don't know where to spend them on. And I'm like grinding them out. It's like, I don't. You guys suck.
You guys don't understand grind. If you spent less than 60 hours on Mass Effect, you know nothing.
So my week was pretty good.
Thank you.
I'm editing all of that out.
Please do.
So my week was pretty good. I didn't really do too much. Just was dicking around on Magic Online. I started playing The Evil Within. Because the whole thing was, I bought it for my girlfriend, and I was going to let her play the entirety of it, and then I was going to start playing it, so, we didn't have to, kind of, watch each other and ruin parts of the game. But she's just been so busy with work and school that she hasn't really been playing too many games, so I was like, fuck it, I'm playing it, and I'd watched her play, the first, 5 minutes of it, and so I was like, whatever, this game isn't all that great. And then I got a couple chapters in, and I was like, all right, this game has something to offer. You got me. And I'm looking forward to just beating the crap out of it. Like I said on a couple podcasts ago, I have so many games right now that I'm just doing this thing where I play one game until I beat it, and then I move on to the next one. So,
except when you didn't in December, when you just bought 20 games and then you just went back and forth a million times. We're like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this?
I know. So that's when I implemented this rule where I just play one game and then I just devote myself to that one game. So that's the Evil Within.
Same thing with books. You got to read a book.
Exactly.
Get it done and don't go back and forth.
Shouldn't it be Magic, though?
Well, I mean,
Agreed.
Like a storyline game. Anyways, so speaking of Magic,
real quick,
ruining segue.
Really quick.
You're Peppermint Swirl, the segue ruiner. That's your name.
Back to storyline. Who's into the lore? Who's the Magic lore guy?
Well,
I'm trying to crack into it. I enjoy it.
Hot Sauce hates the lore. Ryke doesn't. He could care less. He doesn't hate it, but he doesn't love it. I've read 4 or 5 of the books, and
I'm just trying to get into it. I do enjoy it overall.
And Crow's pretty much enjoying it too. So.
I'm just asking because that kind of ruins your one storyline game thing, because Magic should still be it.
That's a story.
Gotcha. That's
You know what?
You're an asshole.
I got nothing to say against that.
That makes
You've got a week to teach me the lore.
Fuck. What an asshole. You're out of here, bro.
So we haven't done any permanent bannings on the cast. I think Peppermint Swirl deserved one right there.
That was awesome. I love it.
And there were 3.
But speaking about bannings, there was a modern Pro Tour just this past weekend, and with the metagame really fucking shifted onto its ass with all the bannings, we were able to see what the pros came up with their deck lists. And you know what? First of all, what I want to ask you guys, we're not super into Modern. We may pay attention to it, or we may just really, we try and follow the highs and lows of it, and we're trying to find decks that are worth buying into. But what do you guys think about the one Pro Tour a year? Because they changed it to where it was going to be all standard Pro Tours, and then the community bitched, and then so they went back to.
So it's 3 and 1.
So it's three standards, or 2 standards and a modern.
Oh, there's only 3 Pro Tours?
There's a 4? Okay,
Pretty sure it's 4.
So there's all standard except 1 modern. So what do you guys think about that? Do you like it?
I like watching Modern enough.
Do you wish there was more?
Modern's fine. I mean, I don't have a big old boner about it, but I think that Modern's pretty cool. I like seeing change and variation and new cards get implemented. I still like Siege Rhino. I'm not sick of it yet, And I also like bannings. I don't care about bannings either. Like, fuck it, let's get it going, So I like to shake up in Modern. I actually watched, like, pretty much the whole weekend, whatever I could. And, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Would you rather just watch, like, Star City or Channel Fireball, like, Modern events, or do you think that the actual Pro Tour being Modern is... like something you're interested in?
I get what you're saying. For me, I like you. I could kind of take Modern, take it or leave it as far as it goes. I mean, I kind of like it in the sense that I get to learn about older cards and see different strategies, different styles. I like that fact. I like knowing roots of where things come from. So that kind of gives me a more of a background into earlier game stages and stuff. So that's fun. At the same time, I also don't really give a shit too much about it. I also understand, though, that why people want at least one Pro Tour for it. So for that reason, I do like that they brought it back in. I understand and like that they have one in there because Magic implemented this style of play a few years ago. And it's like they put all this money into it. A lot of people love it. So to take it away entirely from the main stage, I understand people are upset about that. So I do agree that there's one of them.
I agree that Modern players deserve it. I say that. Modern is cool. If I was a Modern player, I would totally be backing it up. You know what I mean? I'm not really a Modern player, but still, I appreciate they're doing it.
So on the main stage, like you said, Modern's 1/3 of the Pro Tours.
I think it's 1/4.
1/4.
1/4. So it's 1/4. But what about in the Magic shops? Because when I was in the Magic shop this weekend, somebody came in. We doing Modern tonight? He's like, no, I didn't have enough people.
At the local level, it's up to the shop. So it's dependent on your area, but it's, like I said, it's up to them. So they can do standard, they can do limited, or draft, they can do sealed, they can do modern, they can do all sorts of variations. But SCG, which is a second only to Wizards of the Coast in regards of putting on events.
No. First in regards.
Yeah, SCG
as far as
way,
quality, I think.
Yeah.
No, I mean
But yeah, second in regards. I get you.
So obviously Wizards of the Coast, they have the Pro Tour, and everyone pays attention to that. And then SCG puts them on every weekend. They film it, stream it, all that stuff. And they did put Modern. They made some changes recently where Modern is now. They kind of rotate between 3 formats, whichever one gets camera play. So, I forget what your question was.
It was your question.
Is it as prevalent at the local level as it is? Is it a quarter of the games going on in your town?
I think local. If you're in a shop, main thing is that you want to play limited. Limited, I think, is people want to draft with a big group of people. Whether it be sealed or whether it be just regular draft or whatever, where you just pass it around. I think that's maybe a tie with standard.
I was gonna say, I like limited and stuff, but for me, when I go to Friday Night Magic, there's different shops around town that one puts on standard exclusively, other one goes from a draft to a chaos draft to a sealed to one standard a week.
Right. Well, I think that draft, you got to do it with people, and people don't. A lot of Magic players don't just have a group of 6 guys.
Yeah.
That can just hang out at their house and play. We have that luckily, but even still, it's still hard to get us all together when we're not casting to go ahead and do a draft. So if you want to do a draft, you got to go out to a store. But standard, you can still just do one-on-one with a buddy. I just think that it's more limited. All that kind of stuff's more relevant in a store.
So to vaguely answer your question, give or take, yes, Modern is 1/3 to 1/4 of what's going on out there. Just because there are so many formats and so many choices. But Modern is, like Crow said, they implemented it, some years back, and it's been a real hit because there was Legacy and Vintage formats, much older cards, much more expensive, and Modern was kind of the poor man's Legacy, the poor man's Vintage. And so a lot of people picked up on it, and now it's just really starting to boom over these past 2 years. Ever since we got into Magic, it just started really taking off.
Well, I can see it's a nice chance to use your old library of cards you've built over the...
Right, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're not going out and buying Modern staples and all that. We're just playing Standard and, Commander and all these other little dinky formats. But we're building our library, so in 4 years, 5 years, we can have a selection of modern playable cards, or at least we can have cards that are worth money to trade in for modern playable cards.
Or between us have a modern deck to play against. I mean, it'll be a piece of shit compared to what's like a legitimate metagame modern, but it'll be fun to go back in like a couple years from now, you said, and go back and go, we're going to build a deck from all these old cards I've got sitting around, all these cool things I've held on to, and build something out of it and have a good time with it.
Because there is a barrier to entry into modern.
I was going to say, if you're not in that position where you've built and you just like, hey, today I want to play some modern, what's an average deck going to cost to build?
So fetches are in standard right now. One half of the fetch lands are in standard, and so their prices are drastically down from where they were. And then the other half of the fetches are still, what, 20, 50, between 20 and 60 bucks, let's say.
Probably, yeah.
So per one, so you need a playset of 4 or 2 playsets, depending on what colors you're running.
What do you think? Like average, you're probably looking at maybe 500.
I think more, because you can get a standard deck for like 500 at the high end.
Yeah, for the high end.
So it's definitely.
I think more like a good modern deck is like more typically like an average of $1,000.
I don't know about average. I'd say like high end.
Well, I mean, if you're playing like tier 1 modern deck, I'd say $1,000. I mean, Liliana is what, $80. What is it? Swords and Plowshares and the other fucking white.
Path to Exile.
Path to Exile.
You can get that one cheap, actually.
Pretty cheap.
I thought they were like 20.
No, I was looking at it recently, and there's some like decent, a few printings of it. So I saw it for like $4 or $5. So.
Well, regardless, modern's still kind of expensive to get into, but I like to keep up on it because that's what a lot of the community likes, and that's what they talk about, and so I find it interesting, and so therefore having that one Pro Tour a year is like it's all right by me. You know what I mean? It's because when a new set comes out, I want to see pros playing the new cards. And so when that one modern Pro Tour happens right after a set comes out, I'm kind of like disappointed. Like, fuck, I want to see what they were brewing with and what decks they build.
That's what I was saying last week that SCG did. It's like, I understand they're doing the new rotation, but they should have planned it out a little better in the sense that the week of the coming out, they did do the standard format. But the next week was Legacy. It's like, but the new card just fucking came out. Come on.
So the modern's kind of nichey, but it's a cool opportunity to use older cards.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot more mainstream than it was when it first came out.
Like so you say that top tier deck of modern is $1,000. What's a top tier Legacy deck?
Who knows, basically.
Who knows? What do you want to buy, a car or a fucking Legacy deck?
Exactly.
So if you guys had a chance to look at this top 8, because there was...
You got Dirtle Bloom?
I just want to say, I almost called the winner. In the sense that I said Sam Black, and those two are roommates playing the same fucking deck. And they're, Sam Black just missed top 8 by... Like, he was like 9th place.
What deck won?
It was the Splinter Twin deck.
Yeah.
So,
right, okay, yeah.
The Splinter Twin, if you don't know what it is, it's 2 red for an enchantment aura. You enchant creature. The enchanted creature has tap, put a token that's a copy of this put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. That token has haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So what you do is you pretty much make copies of things that can untap.
Yeah.
Tap and untap.
You make copies for infinite. You need like a series of like 2 cards, 2 to 3 cards, and you just make infinite tokens and you swing in for game. You don't even swing in for game. Like when the person sees Splinter Twin land on the appropriate creature, that's the end of the game.
So like in this particular deck, he has Pestermite, which is 2 and a blue for a 2/1 flyer. It has flash. When Pestermite comes into play, you may tap or untap target permanent. So, as you can imagine, you put it on Pestermite, you make a token of that, which you can untap the original Pestermite, and
tap it again.
So on and so forth until you have 1,000 of them and swing in for game.
You untap and you tap the first one forever until you make, whatever, 1,000,000 copies, 100 copies, whatever, and you just swing in with 2/1 flyers, and it doesn't matter how many blockers they have, you can make infinite, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, there's more nuances to the deck, but I mean, that's pretty much the combo right
From
there.
what I've heard, though, like that deck, that they rarely, I don't say rarely, I don't want to say like 1 out of 100, but I'm saying like rarely like 1 out of 5 do they actually get the Splinter Twin, or like 1 out of 3 or something like that. Usually it's just a good controlling deck that does the flyer beatdown.
Right.
That's what the an interview said, that he's like, I don't really get the twin that often on there. I usually just have to do the beatdown with the 3-1 and 2-1 flyers. And then the thing is that's good about it is that you play Splinter Twin and they have to counter it, which takes away their turn, takes away their mana, which allows you to beat down again. So it keeps you're not winning that turn, but you keep getting in because they have to be reactive.
They have to leave
Kind of
mana
bring them out with aggression, kind of a thing.
So the deck that came in second place is Bloom Titan, which I have no idea about. So if anybody does,
they're calling it Bloom Amulet.
No, Amulet Bloom.
Amulet Bloom.
So this is the Dirtle deck. This is the Solitaire deck. It has a turn 1 win. And it's totally ridiculous where you have to...
Isn't it turn 2, I believe?
Turn 1 is in 1. There's 2 ways to win.
Oh, because the amulet, yeah.
So there's 2 ways to win. And one of them is to... You bring out... Basically, you play cards that allow you to play additional lands per turn or whatever, and you play a whole bunch of lands. You bring out the... Primeval Titan. And you attack in with that guy or whatever, and that's not your turn 1. Your turn 1 is something else. But anyways, you go ahead and you can by turn 1 you're allowed to attack for 8, possibly with double strike on turn 1 if you can get all the cards right, which is very very rare. On turn 2 or whatever is that what that is. So turn 1 you play a card that allows when you play an instant or sorcery, it copies it for your opponent. Your opponent gets to play an instant or sorcery.
That's right.
And what happens is you play that 0 mana but on
Summoner's Pact.
Summoner's Pact. You play that. You play all this whole shit that sets up where he has to copy it. So your opponent copies it on turn 1, and when his next turn comes up, he has to pay 4 mana to pay for Summoner's Pact, or he loses the game.
Which also works later on if they don't have green.
Right. So it's one of those things.
You can't pay for it, you lose.
If it comes up to you just get the Super's double beatdown from Primeval Titan for 8 each turn with Vigilance and all this shit, or you are forced to cast a spell that on your upkeep you have to pay 4 mana that you just don't fucking have, and you just lose the game.
That's actually how he lost one of the games, because the other dude, the Splinter Twin guy, played a Blood Moon after he played a Summoner's Pact. So he didn't have the green mana to pay for his own Summoner's Pact on the next turn, because the Blood Moon turned all his non-basics into mountains.
And then he's like, oh, well, that's that. It's Dirtles, though, man. It's super complicated to get the correct color of mana and all this stuff. And it's just a fucking disaster of a deck to watch. You're just sitting there, and the opponent's scratching his head and just going just go ahead. And even so, you're playing Twin, you don't play shit on your turn. So he does the dirtily solitaire shit. It goes to his opponent's turn. The opponent's playing Twin, which is control. It's all his flash and shit like that. He's like, go ahead. He just goes back to his turn. And then once he dirtles through his shit, then he might flash in a creature or use a remand or whatever else, and then it goes, and that's it. So it's funny that it's just solitaire because the control player never plays shit on his turn. So it's just nothing the entire game. It's gonna, if you had a counter where 30 minutes each for each player, one guy's at 29 minutes and the other guy's at 10 minutes.
He actually got several warnings at the tournament for
slow play.
For slow play.
Exactly. It's exactly how it is. You have to I know it's so melodical, and you have to just fucking sit there and just be like, oh my god, what do I do?
Personally, I kind of enjoyed it in the sense that I wouldn't want to watch that more, but I watched a couple of his matches. He was on the fucking Sam Black was on there for one or two of them, and then in the end, Justin, can't think of his last name, was in the finals, obviously, and I don't know. I found it kind of interesting to see him solve the puzzle. Mm-hmm. Personally, I enjoyed. I don't want to necessarily watch it anymore. I watched probably 3 matches of them doing it. I understand why it was very boring. I get it. I get why experienced players are what the fuck? This is horrible TV work, blah, blah, blah. He got there, though. So for me, it was kind of enjoyable to watch him go, turn 2, double strike, added mana, +2, +0 from that one land, and blah, 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 and game.
Here's the problem that someone said on Twitter or something, I don't know, some pro player, I have no idea. It's the decks, some of the decks in Modern, including this one, are no interaction with your opponent. It's can I get my combo? Yes, I can. I win. Yeah. Can I get my combo? No, I can't. You win. There is no I have to set up blockers. There's none of that shit. You just have 20 life and hope that you can get your combo out before it goes to 0. Mm-hmm. You don't block anything. You don't do shit. You just sit there and you just play solitaire and make sure you get to your combo. But there is no blocking. There is no tricks. There is no counter spells. There's no you don't do shit. You just sit there and all right, I got a turn, 2, 3 turns, whatever to get this combo off. If I don't, I don't.
And this is modern, right? So you only have one shot at making your combo. It's not like you have play sets in there, right?
No, modern.
No.
Commander's the singleton.
Yeah. Okay. Modern, you have 4 of each thing that you need to do.
When he said earlier,
unless it's limited.
When he said reserved, that meant that means legacy.
Restricted.
Restricted, excuse me. It means you can only play one Black Lotus in a deck.
So there's cards,
certain
Power
cards.
9 is this old set of cards, whatever, and they're so powerful that you're not allowed to have 4. Even though Magic says you can have 4 of one card, you can't have 4 because the card is so powerful. If you did have 4, you could combo off into something crazy and just win
turn
the game.
one win every fucking
every
game.
time.
It's
Because so
stupid.
you'd have 4. Even the chances are so great. So
it looks like we have another twin in the top 8, and we have 3 Abzan, which it just looks like it's Abzan good stuff.
It's just Jund plus Siege Rhino and maybe another card or something like that. It's just...
I liked, I think it was Matthew Stafford, that might have been his name, younger looking guy. He had the same kind of Jund deck, but he had a slightly different take. So all the times having to see Abzan on the fucking main event, can't remember going on, I enjoyed when his was on there because it was just slightly different.
Which I'm down with.
Kitchen Finks and stuff in there, and so he was going a little different route, and it was a lot more enjoyable to watch than the other ones.
A lot of the tournament was the old Birthing Pod deck, minus Birthing Pod, the 4 Birthing Pods, whatever they played. You had 4 more cards in there, and you just play that deck anyways. And one of the guys was saying, I was going to play Burn or whatever, but then my team, if you want to call it that, we just got the Birthing Pod deck, took the 4 out, and we put 2 of this and 2 of that in there. And I didn't even play test it. I just came in completely blind with the same deck, and I was it's whatever. These cards are strong, and so he just did that. And I was you didn't even play test it? You just you just built a deck that may have worked last season, and you just did it. And I think he made top 8. I think he did really well because Kitchen Finks and all that shit is they're super powerful to just gain that life and do the beatdown. So
Abzan was 30% of the field.
Yeah, it was a lot of it. I don't mind watching it because. Yeah, it's just playing the good stuff, but at least it is interactive Magic where you have to make blocks and make decisions rather than where's my combo pieces? Can I scry into it? Can I brainstorm into it? Can I whatever into it? Can I get it? Oh, I got it, I win, yay! It's nothing. It's interactive Magic, which I want, which is why. In my mind, Standard is still number 1 because it's very interactive. It's a lot of blocks, attacks, tricks, whatever. And I just a lot of different things going on in my Magic.
That's kind of where I kind of differ in the sense that, not differ. I enjoy Standard because it has a lot more interactions, a lot of things going on. You have to make decisions like that. When I'm watching Modern, I kind of like watching decks that have blue in it, something like that going on where there's a lot more tricks and crazy things happening because you're using older cards. I'm it's crazy shit I can do. Not necessarily the combo deck itself and things like that, but just seeing
super powerful
old,
things
cool
happen.
fucking cards. Oh my god, really that was a card? Holy shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I can appreciate those older cards and how they interact, but I don't particularly want to watch it. I don't want to play with it, and I definitely don't want to play against it. That just seems just that blue-white X control deck from last Standard season was so obnoxious to play against that, and it was just horrible to watch. And I can only imagine, combo decks in Modern are just 1,000 times worse in that regard.
Blue-black now is kind of like that, where you watch people play and they always have 5 cards in their hand, and someone's all right, I'm going to cast Siege Rhino. Oh, no, I guess I'm not. Okay, cool, well, I have Solongar. Oh, I guess I don't. Or whatever. Oh, I have this. I'm going to delve for Treasure Cruise. Oh, no, I will not do that. Never mind. And then you just keep going back and forth, and then the player finally gets out Ugin. And that's and then you're well, that's that, I guess, And that's what it is. It's just Dirtle City, and you don't play your fucking cards and then finally they turn 9 or whatever, turn 10, they get the fucking Ugin out, and then you're oh, cool, and there it is.
I always hate playing against blue, but at least my waste now deck's a little more interesting. I'm letting you do what you can do.
You're absolutely right.
Just can't do much because you don't have very many cards.
I actually like yours better than seeing just regular blue-black.
I don't know if this is bad timing, but I need some noob knowledge. What the fuck is Dirtle?
It's the Dirtle turtle, bro. Dirtle
is what I did to you when we played our games. I sat back and said, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to try to do that. I'm not going to let you come if you discard your cards.
It's a bunch of time wasted when you're playing a game. It's just a bunch of I do this, it negates this, we're back to 0. Oh, I do this, it goes back to 0. Everything just goes back to 0. And you sit there and you just don't do a damn thing. You're just
So if you and me are playing a game, I'm not doing much, but I'm stopping you from doing what you want to do. So I'll play like a 0-2 or fucking something, but that 0-2 is going to stop you from doing what you want to do. So it's like, I'm not going to win the game because I'm casting good shit. I'm just really stopping you from doing your shit until I get to, like, turn 9.
You're like not even playing Magic for like for 25 minutes. You're not playing Magic. You're just like stopping them from playing Magic.
And the namesake of Dirtle.
I have no idea.
Who cares?
Who cares?
That's one for the
That
ages
makes
right
sense.
there.
Novice question. Gotcha.
So it looks like the top 8 is rounded out with some Burn. I know Burn was somewhat viable, but I think with these recent bannings, it kind of came back more into the limelight. And I mean, 2 Burn decks in the top 8, that's not too fucking bad.
What's his fucking name?
Seth Manfield.
Seth Manfield. I like that. I like seeing him go 12-0.
Goober looking motherfucker.
Yeah, hey, whatever. It's good. I mean, he makes some good articles. I like him.
So there's 28, looks like 28 Burn spells in Seth's deck. And in Lishi Tan's, we got 26 Burn. So, I mean, that's a lot of Burn.
It's a lot
of fucking Burn.
And then, of
with
course,
about
like
13, 14
Eidolon of the
creatures.
Great Revel and some other weird stuff in there to just get it done, you know.
If you kind of think about it, like how combo decks don't play the other player, Burn decks don't really either.
True that.
It's really about,
You're absolutely right.
Can I count to 20 fast enough?
Except that you get to make choices about killing creatures or not.
Of course, I understand. But
you're right.
In general senses, though, it's really about how fast can I count to 20.
Right. It's like, do I have the cards in hand? Yes, I do. No, I don't. You're right. In a lot of sense, it's not as bad as the other decks, but it is similar.
There are choices in the tree of interacting with them or not. Whereas the combo deck, there's no choice to interact with them. You just do
like
your
that,
thing.
that amulet one, like I said, there's literally no blocking or any interaction with any other card. It is just the combo, and there is no secondary win condition. It is only the combo.
So yeah, like you, I spent a lot of time watching this particular Modern Pro tournament, and for me, I much more enjoyed watching the Amulet Blue and watching if he could solve his own puzzle in that moment, what he was trying to do and the crazy shit he was making happen.
Fair enough.
Than the Burn, because it's just like, I don't know, it's like if you want to make a noob be able to like play like, oh, this is the introduction deck. Burn my face as quick as you can. It's not fun for me to watch.
It's totally fair. Fair argument.
It's like,
absolutely.
Burn. I just don't give a shit. Like, I understand it's viable, and all kinds of people like just the mono red Burn. I get it, but talking about watching something boring,
I get it.
There's no interaction. It's the same. There's still no interaction. Barely,
top deck.
barely.
Oh, did I get the 3 points? No, I did not. That's all it is. I get it. It makes sense.
So I mean, it did very well, obviously, and there's something going on there, and I get it. Don't care.
We got any other modern stuff, or you want to get on to? You want to move it on?
Let's get this train moving on to the next stop. So I was able to do my first draft on MTGO of the Cons Fate, and I'm not finding the list, which is just wonderful.
That's okay. I mean, we can still talk about some key cards, but you could just really say that I drafted and I pulled Ugin.
Okay, so pretty much pack 1, pick 1, Ugin.
Did you keep it?
I fucking kept it, of course. So, I don't know how many people are familiar with playing Magic Online, but it's kind of buggy from time to time where you'll open up a pack and then you're going to click on the card you want and Magic kicks you offline. So when I saw Ugin, I clicked on that motherfucker so fast that I didn't even look at what was in the rest of the pack. There could have been a foil Ugin behind the other Ugin. I didn't fucking care. I was clicking on that fucking top Ugin, and
right you are for doing that.
Yeah. So motherfucking Magic.
Unless he missed a foil Ugin, which we know he didn't. But holy shit.
Yeah.
Who cares?
So and then I just went all in on the Ugin plan. I know Sultai is very dirtly and controlling, and I was just getting past the right cards left and right. So if I can
Either way, it was really just like a lot of blockers, like a lot of 05s and stuff like that. And a lot of removal in those colors.
So I had like a Jeskai Elder, or no, it wasn't Jeskai Elder, Jeskai Sage. It's a 1/1. When it dies, draw a card. So it's just kind of a chump blocker. I had the Monastery Flock, which is the 05 Defender, but it has Morph. And the Morph cards are very important because Ugin's Ultimate does not affect the Morph cards.
Yeah.
So, or not Ultimate. So when you minus X, it exiles all cards with a color off of the board. So instead of just hard casting like Monastery Flock, I would, morph it so I could actually attack with it. And then, further down the line, if I needed to use it as a defender, I would flip it up for 1 mana. And I had Despise, that was a tough choice between Despise and something else. But I took the Despise, trying to just get shit out of their hand, which really fucking worked out because I fucking despise somebody's Sarkin, which it was the game 1, and it was just like, wow, you pulled a Sarkin. That sucks because I got a Despise, and it was just money.
There's a lot of interaction where like they just could not get through. Should he pull like that, the 2/8 whatever, like fucking
Mastodon.
Like not even that much of a playable card, but it's totally efficient at like, well, you know what? I just need to get to Ugin, so I need a big old body.
You know what did a lot of work was Disown Ancestor. I was able to fucking outlast that guy like a motherfucker.
That's all it is. It's just high toughness all around.
Yeah, I had Typhoid Rats, Debilitating Injury, some other guys in there, but Douse and Gloom. Mm-hmm. So it was just getting rid of all their.
Did you have a second bomb? Didn't you have another? You didn't play the dragon that you wanted, the 4/4 dragon. You didn't play that.
No, I wanted to. I was gonna go black-white, but I decided to go Sultai. I had Dead Drop in there, which was great. I think maybe I had a Shambling Attendance. I don't know if I kept that in or not. I had a Throttle. I had the. I had this motherfucker, Kintree Warden. So it's the 1/1 for Forest, and then but you morph him, and then he's a 2/2, and then
you regenerate him for 2 mana.
Yeah, you can regenerate him when he's not morphed.
That's just blockers for days and days and days until you finally, once again, get to Ugin, and then you went, if nothing else. You went undefeated the entire draft.
I went undefeated. I also had a Sultai Charm.
Not even a game loss?
Not even one single game loss. I was able to dirtle my way all the way to freedom. So I was able to dirtle my way to Ugin every game, except there was one game where I actually just got them down from 20 to 0 without playing Ugin. Which
you pulled him every game after.
I pulled him every game except for that one game. So,
yeah, 5 out of 6. Yeah,
good for
so
you.
5 out of 6 games, Ugin fucking did.
It was funny because his opponents a lot of times had like 6 mana creatures, like the 4/4 with lifelink from Khans, and he's like, well, I pull out Ugin, that means just a -6 to exile everything. And so that means that Ugin's at 1, and he's like, "Son of a bitch, you better not do a dash. You better not get me. I'm down to 1. This is my win condition. You better not." And then nobody ever did.
Nice.
Like, he always got to keep Ugin on the board to win, to seal a victory. So, but it was very like nerve wracking where you see like the opponent's at 9 mana and he -6, and he's like, "Oh, you better not, you son of a bitch."
There was a lot of nail biting moments where if I didn't make the right play or the right sequence of plays, then I was just going to be fucked. And I did make a couple misplays, but luckily they didn't come back to bite me in the ass. I had, I think it was 2 Smoke Tellers. It's the...
I have no idea what that is.
I don't mean either. It's a 1 in a green for a 2/2, and then you pay 1 in a blue, look at target face-down creature, which actually was relevant because... with the manifest, or more importantly, the morph, just because I really needed to be efficient with my kill spells and everything, and more often than not, I just, whenever they used the morph or manifest, I just fired it off. I didn't care what was
I'll say
underneath.
that a 2/2 for 2 in limited, like, just draft that fucking thing.
Yeah, it's still
2/2 for 2.
still
Who cares?
just good.
So you need a 2-drop, get a 2/2 for 2. Simple as that.
I had Archer's Parapet, which did a lot of work for me. Basically, just I had a lot of shit that couldn't even attack, and then I had morphs that could attack, and it was just great when I would wipe the board and still have 2 of my morphs out there. And one of the games I won with the fucking defender that was morphed. I just thought it was funny that I fucking beat him down with a defender.
A 2/2, yeah.
Yeah, it was morphed, so it shouldn't have been able to attack, but I really have a lot of luck early on in a format. Early on in when a new set comes out, I think a lot of people are trying different things. They don't have the meta down for the draft. and I didn't go up against.
You're good in the good early have the drafting technique down beginning, and then you start learning how to draft, and you go, oh, I suck.
Yeah, and then they figure it out, and you go, well, I guess that's me.
Yeah, like I'm really good when no one has any idea what's going on, but once they figure it out, they surpass me, and then I'm just like, I come in second place all day.
It's still pretty good.
But I didn't go up against any aggro decks, which I don't know how I would have really done against them. You know, if somebody went really wide on me, I don't know if I would have been able to keep up with it. But I was pretty stoked. The Ugin card is going to go in my Sultai Walkers list, which I'm building online and in paper. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And Ugin's going down in price on
I'm
Moto.
17 right now, which I'm excited about. I need 2 for my waste not deck.
Yeah, I'm super stoked on it. So, you know what? We were able to play some motherfucking Minimander today. That
Real
is
quick
right.
before you jump thoroughly into that,
sir.
if you don't mind, sir.
Go right
apologize.
ahead.
I told you guys I kind of sold off like pretty much everything I had for the most part. It was worth shit to make my waste on deck on there.
Right.
Well, now I'm kind of slowly building up the Perforos token deck that we built on the cast on Moto as in paper, because I've now play tested that. I don't know, maybe 10 times or less maybe. But so far, it's actually pretty good.
It does a lot of work. He beat me. There was a time where he beat me without attacking, and he just did 20 damage through Perforos and
I thought he didn't turn one, saw I had Aether Spouts. I went wide with like 10 creatures and said, well, I don't need to attack. I'm going to continue to create tokens and burn you for 22 damage.
Whirling Outburst does 6, and Raise the Alarm does 4, and I just sat there and
Triplet Spirits.
tried to get in, and I'm like,
Monastery Mentor for every...
He's just doing 6 a turn, god damn it.
So it's actually pretty fun. So like I have like a shittier, cheaper version of it currently on Moto. So that's my next goal too, is to build that on there. So that's
Did you make any major changes to the list we had made?
Not yet. Originally, well, one thing I did do is I knew I was never going to bring in 4 Thoughtseize. So I did, for sideboard, take out two of the Thoughtseize and put in a Chandra and a Sorin.
Okay.
Because of if I end up getting late game and they're able to block, slow me down. Like at one point, Hot Sauce, we were playing against his Manifest deck, and he was able to work it out where he actually made it to a later game. I'm like, at that point, it's really nice to have Chandra to look at 2 cards a turn and figure out what I wanted to do right then, kind of thing. And then the Sorin, just to add in a +1/+0 and gain lifelink with all the wide tokens I've got.
Yeah.
So far, it's happened basically every game. I've gotten like 10 creatures on the field at a time.
Nice.
It's been fucking sweet. So that idea of going, okay, well now at that point, here we go. And Brutal Horde Chief is just a fucking beast.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Big fan of that guy.
I thought for sure one of the first 2 changes I was going to make was the Triplicate Spirits. After play testing it, it actually is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I had that 3 more going right there, and then the Convoke part of it too actually does help. It costs 6, so that Convoke is necessary in most parts. So where I thought I was going to take it out, now I'm like, actually, you know what? It's actually pretty sweet.
We only put 2 on the list, right?
It's only 2. So I thought I wasn't going to like it, and actually so far, first 10 games of playtesting has done some work.
That motherfucker Convoke.
I'm glad to hear it. We actually came up with something decent, even though it is kind of a gimmicky deck. But
that's the thing, though. Like I said,
build it around
I've really only with the Perforos in like the 10 games put him on the field like twice.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I'm probably 8 and 10 right now.
It's more like I think like the Brutal Horde Chief or Perforos gets the job done.
Just going super wide on him.
Super
and then just
wide
like
that. And then I haven't actually put the Shaman of the Great Hunt yet down, but I know that will do the same basic thing.
It's kind of like
get bigger and bigger.
When either like you put down Perforos and just play out your shit, do 2 damage for each creature, blah blah blah, or you have your 7 tokens or whatever, throw down Brutal Horde Chief, and then you're like, oh, my tokens are gonna die. I don't care. I'm just gonna attack for 7. You're gonna lose 7 life. I'm gonna gain 7 life. Half my board's gonna die, but next turn I'm gonna swing it again, and you're just gonna be dead. Like it's just too much. Once again, it's all that like around the creature damage, around the backdoor damage that just fucking destroys people.
Backdoor beauty.
What's that?
Backdoor beauty.
Yeah, that's what I am.
And there's nothing I hate more than backdoor damage. Am I right, Peppermint Swirl? Come on.
I wouldn't know anything.
Give me an amen.
Yeah,
doing
hallelujah.
paper mache and shit.
I'm just hanging out, throwing ass around.
So me and Hot Sauce were able to get our Tiny Leaders decks together after so much goddamn talk about it. It was like
sticking with Minimander.
Minimander.
Well, I
better.
mean, people
Minimander
don't
is
know.
the
I know,
best.
but we're gonna make it happen.
We're making it a thing.
It's gonna be a thing. Bringing it back.
I wrote it on the show notes.
We'll
so it's a
change
thing.
one rule and trademark Minimander.
Yeah, there we go. So after talking about it for so long, it feels like we've been talking about it for like a month or something. We were actually able to get our deck. So we were like teenage boys with just raging hard-ons, and finally we were able to race home from school and just stroke our throbbing penises.
A little tiny little boner.
Tiny
And
little
Peppermint just kept sitting there and laughs, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What's going on? I don't know, but I like it."
tiny little boners. So speaking of tiny boners, what did you build your deck around?
So I beat it around a little tiny wiener.
Yeah.
No, I mean the deck's simple enough. Like you're playing Jeskai, you're playing Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest, the steaming teapot, and I've talked about it before. So and the strategy I had basically worked, which is you get this bitch out and you give her double strike and unblockable, and then the unblockable triggers the prowess. So the 3/2, which is Shu Yun, turns into a 4/3. It triggers double strike, so you attack for 8, and it's unblockable, and you hit for 8. And you only have 25 life, so you do that once. The opponent's like, well, that's not good. And then they have to watch out, going like, well, I can't take another hit of that. So they have to change their state and figure out how a way to kill her, or a way
You
to...
keep saying her. Do you mean her that Silent Tempest still?
Yeah,
it's a dude.
It's a dude?
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
fuck it, I'm going to call her. So yeah, her. So
looks like an Asian Knifecity.
yeah, I don't care. It's fine.
There's more than one transsexual in Magic.
I like it. Shu Yun sounds like a girl to me, so I'll just do that. So so that, all it is like I play a whole bunch of ways to get around my opponent's creatures, ways to kill the creatures to make it where like I don't need it to be unblockable because I kill their shit, and ways to control their board through once again burn spells or just straight up control. Remand and counterspell stuff.
What did you feel like what in the deck didn't work out as well as you thought it was going to? Anything really, you're like, man, I should take this out?
I don't know. Can you think of anything?
I think actually your list was pretty spot on. I mean, I feel like, so he has the protection from black, the knight, the 2/1, is it? And so...
We're Exalted.
Exalted. And so, I like that guy. I'm pretty sure you just put him in there because me and Crow like to play black cards.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
But I feel like if there was like some sort of tournament, like he should be in the sideboard.
Fair enough. Absolutely. 100% agree. I have 2 protection from black and red type shit, black or red or whatever else, and they're more aligned to what I'm playing against. The other one, though, is good just because it is lifelink also.
And first strike.
So, really, there's a couple cards that I kind of, manipulated because I knew who I was playing it against. But I could still add more sideboard stuff to really affect the game.
And you haven't really built a sideboard yet, right?
I haven't built a sideboard yet. But either way, I really just think it is like, you bring out your creature, you protect him with, like, Swift boots?
Yeah.
Swift fire boots or fucking something?
The boots.
The boots.
Makes what?
Makes
Hexproof and haste?
Yeah, hexproof and haste. So you get that on there. You hexproof and haste it. You play a single mana blue spell that makes it unblockable that you're able to cast again from your graveyard one more turn. Has like rebound or whatever the fuck it's called. And
you have 2, right? One's rebound and one's flashback.
Exactly. So there you go. So I have those kind of things, and then really, if I was able to get that going, I would be able to double strike for 8, and 8 that you can't take care of is fantastic. And then they have to kill the creature. Well, then they waste their turn killing the creature, and then I just go ahead and get another creature and just double strike it for 4 or 6 or whatever, and then there's just a lot of interaction where you just get in damage. You just get in damage. Simple as that.
So the color protection isn't like core to it. It is not even sideboard. It was just.
I'm not really protecting my stuff. I'm just bringing out stuff and going 3 creatures wide and giving one of them exalted, which exalted is where if one attacker, oh god damn it, if one creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And if there's multiple exalted things on the board, then it gets +1/+1 for each of those. So I play like 1 exalted land and 1 exalted creature, and that's a cool thing to have on double strike. Exalted and double strike go like hand in hand.
Yeah.
And same thing with like pump spells that give like +3/+0. Then that's a good thing to do. You cast +3/+0 on your creature with prowess. So it goes from a 3/2 to a 4/3. Then it gets +3/+0, so it's a 7/4, and then it gets double strikes. That's 14 damage. And all that required was 2 mana to trigger the double strike from Shuyun, and 1 mana for the +3/+0.
Yeah.
And it also gives the creature haste. So if you really had the combo going, you can bring out Shuyun, play the 1 mana and the 2 mana, and you get in for 14 damage right on the spot with they had no idea it was coming. It just haste, double strike, the end, So that's really what the deck was, and there's not much else really to say. I mean, it just had I tried to get a wide range of things that I can just deal with problems coming at me. The thing is that Knife, we'll talk about his, because his has enchantments that I just do not have, or do not hate for, and those enchantments will win the game if they are brought out and not dealt with. So
Yeah, and the protection from black was just kind of a meta game choice for our little play group, but that does.
There's 2 of those cards.
I feel like black is really strong in Minimander.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my deck was the rat discard deck with Athreos as my Minimander, and I feel like I had the right theme going, I'm going in the right direction. I didn't put enough removal in the deck, so I didn't have a lot of ways to deal with things. So I did have a sideboard, so I ended up just bringing in the sideboard and making that part of the actual deck instead of just citing it in every game. This was more just me and the Hot Sauce were playing just to kind of feel out the decks, what is working, what isn't working. But yeah, I definitely needed more kill spells. But he is right. I have a lot of 1 mana and 2 mana enchants, and so if I can get those out, whenever he discards a card, he'll lose life.
If I have no cards in hand, I lose life. If I have less than 2 cards in hand, I lose life.
Yeah.
It's just if he has the enchantments out and I have no cards in hand, I'm a top decking, which is what his deck wants to do. I just lose life all fucking day. The problem is he only has 4 of those enchantments or whatever in his 50-card deck. If he doesn't draw them, his deck doesn't work the way he wants to.
Right.
That's the problem.
Although I had multiple angles of attack where I could pump up my rats or do this and that.
A demonic tutor?
All the low mana costing tutors are banned.
In Tiny Leaders?
Yeah.
They're actually ban list?
Yeah,
Technically,
there's a ban
Soul
list.
Ring, which is the 1 mana artifact that taps 2 colorless.
I got 2 cards coming in that I got surprises for you guys. And I'm going to tell you, they're silver bordered.
So, you might want to check before we all start ordering cards. I had to double check.
They're a couple dollars. I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm playing this because it's going to be awesome.
Fair enough.
Fuck you guys.
So,
Ban list, bitch.
so I like the deck. I still like it. It definitely needs to be tuned.
This
maybe
is Minimander, not Tiny Leaders, fuckers.
So maybe some. Well, we have a bigger ban list.
Yeah. Samhain Crow from playing the game.
That's number 1.
Number 1.
So I think I need to find some cards that tutor up enchantments. So maybe Heliod's Pilgrim. I think you can search for an enchantment, and I'm sure there's other ways to do it. So
Because you need to get them. The deck works when you get the enchantments out. So we had the record was, what was the record tonight?
It was I won 1, you won 10. Maybe not 10, but still
6 or 7 or something like that.
Is it because it's enchantment based, it's susceptible to the control decks?
No, it's just that I have a lot of stuff going on besides the enchantments, and all that stuff going on doesn't really work without the enchantments.
I mean,
and it's singleton. Tiny Leaders, my Minimander is singleton, so out of 50 cards, he's got to draw those 4.
But so if I discard all of his cards, he still has his commander, which can do fucking a shitload of damage. It can double strike and get through, unblockable. And so he's still doing fine, whereas I have these little tiny rats that aren't fucking doing anything. Maybe if I had my enchantments on the board, he would be getting pinged for 8 every upkeep.
Yeah, the clock would be super fast, and I'd be like, oh, I'm fucked. But it's just super hard to get all those enchantments. Even if you do have tutors or whatever, you're still not bringing out 3 enchantments. You're bringing out 1 enchantment, and hopefully you drew 1 also. So a 2 max per game is what it really feels like. And 2 is it won you that 1 game for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's still hard to win when you only have 2 of the 4. If you had all 4 somehow, or I don't even know how it would work, but you just would fucking win. Like, there's no chance at all I would have. But this doesn't work that way, you know?
Here's a sideboard card against Knife, then. There's that card in Fate Reforged. It's double blue and X. And it says each player draws X cards.
Yeah, boom. So
you give him all kinds of stuff, but you're not getting hit with those fucking discard things at that point.
No shit, huh?
The thing damage.
So I was looking at some more cards just because this format's really piqued my interest, and I realized a lot of my favorite mill cards from last standard season were 3 converted mana cost or less. So I started looking around the old Magics. And I realized there's a lot of really good mill cards for 3 converted mana cost or less. So
that's the next step.
That's the next deck I'm going to build.
I just saw another card today. It's 1 blue, target player to top 5 cards of the library goes in the graveyard.
Yep.
Right.
And so I think the card is called Glimpse the Unthinkable. It's for blue and a black, I believe. And it's target player mills 10. And that card is like $20 to purchase, because it is like mill is like a casual fucking hit. Like, casual people love to play mill, and so there's just always constant demand for that card. So I think I'm just gonna trying to buy a damaged version or fucking something like that.
That's the next step, though.
Yeah, or I might just buy a pristine version. But
that one from Unhinged, like where you rip it up, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Frank was
So
talking about.
I'd say that Minimander, like, Commander's sick, but you need like 4 people. And it's like very casual, and it's like whoever wins like didn't even really win. It's just like you just play for fun. Minimander actually has some skill based in it, and it also is 1-on-1, which is way easier to play than getting 4 people together. So like Minimander, you can just play it like whenever. So we all here at the cast highly recommend playing it.
Yes, indeed, and we are going to be recording some Minimander versus videos along with our standard versus videos that are coming out.
Way too many Minimander videos because we're going to take control of the market.
Yeah, we're going to monopolize the market on Minimander versus videos.
Exactly.
Which is a very small market, but we're going to be at the top of that goddamn market.
Yeah, I want to shift gears.
I
want to start it. I want to start this next one with Mr. Peppermint Swirl to the stage. So right now is the time in the cast where it is not safe for work. Put on your headphones, people. Do not allow anyone to hear this. And if you don't like bad humor and poor taste, please turn off your fucking stream or whatever. Turn off iTunes right now. Like, this is going to be goddamn dirty, okay?
Yeah.
If you like dirty, fine. But if you don't, like, you need to get the hell out of here, man.
If you want to listen to fucking some more Magic, go listen to Limited Resources.
You just stop right here.
We're not talking about any more Magic.
This is going to be the time where we spill some jokes on you. We're going to give you some chuckles. Some dirty chuckles. Well, some of them are so dirty, and some of them are real fucking bad. So, you want to learn some new jokes, tell your friends, and take credit for them. Be like, oh, this is my joke. Because they don't listen to the cast. That means that I get to own this joke.
Yeah.
You know what? So be it. We're going to give you the opportunity. So, Peppermint Swirl, what do you think?
All right, I'll start it off.
Here we go, baby.
I'm
going to sit back in my easy chair, and we're going to have a great time.
I got you. Okay. So, there's this little boy. We'll call him Timmy. Timmy's hanging out in his house, and he's probably playing Magic or something. That's beside the point. He's building decks, but young kid. He walks by his mom's room and he hears some huffing and puffing. And he's like, "Oh, what is that?" And he listens to the door real close and he hears his mom go, "Oh, I need a man. She's laying on her back and rubbing herself, and he sees it through the crack in the door, and he's like, oh man, whatever. He brushes it off, and he goes back to his room. Well, the next day, he walks by his mom's room again, and he hears some commotion going on in there, and he peeks through the door, and he sees a man on top of his mom just going to town. He doesn't know this guy. It could be any guy. He's just going to town on her, and he's like, okay. So I'm going to think about this for a little while. So the next day, his mom's walking through the house, walks by little Timmy's door, and she hears a commotion. She peeks through the crack in the door, and she sees Timmy laying on his back, and he's rubbing himself. He's going to town. He's like, oh, I need a bike.
That is a very cute joke. I really like that.
No, I love that though, dude. Timmy's gonna get his wish because he's rubbing his junk just like his mommy.
That's one of the I can only memorize 3 jokes at a time. I can only have 3 slots in my head for jokes, and that's one of them. I really enjoy that one.
I love that one.
It's cute. It's cute.
Oh God.
All right, let's take it a step dirtier. Why don't we head this over to hot sauce?
All right.
What do you got for us, Sus?
First of all, so guy walks into a bar. Hey, classic joke. Hey, the punchline. Bam, ba-doom, ba-bam. Anyways, guy walks into a bar, right? Sees the bartender. Sees behind the bartender a jar just full fucking money, just $1,000, whatever. I don't know, just full of cash. And the guy orders a drink, and then, he's sitting there for a while, and he's like, yeah, I'm fucking curious, what the hell is that? What's going on there? Hey, man, what's up with that jar of cash right there? He goes, oh, yeah, you like that? So what it really is you pay into it or whatever, and you get a series of challenges, and if you pass it, you get the whole pot. Nobody's got it so far, so have at it. And he's like, how much is it? That's $50. $50 buy-in. You pass the 3 challenges I'm going to give you, then you get it. All of it's yours. And he's like, all right, sweet. And he's like, all right, cool. And he's hanging out for a little bit, thinking about it. And, a couple drinks later, he's like, you know what, fuck this. Let's do it. So he pays up $50. And he's like, I want to hear, man, what's the challenges? He's like, all right, man. First thing you do, guy at the end of the bar, he sees a guy, the guy's fucking Samoan, gigantic, tough as shit. Sees him and goes, you gotta punch that, you gotta knock the guy out 1 blow. Go up to him, fucking knock his ass out. That's it. Second thing, there's a door to your right. Inside of there is a canine, fucking dog that has a decaying tooth, and it needs to get removed. And the dog is just vicious, wild dog. And you got to go in there, struggle with the dog a little bit, get that tooth out, come back out with the tooth. A second task or whatever. Third one, door to the left. Old lady, 85 years old, whatever, never had an orgasm in her whole life. So you got to go ahead and go in there, get some time in, give that lady an orgasm. She comes out and confirms it. Boom, money's yours. Get all 3 done tonight. Guy's like, that sounds like I can't do that, but you know what? Drunk power, man. Just give me another shot. We'll do it. So first thing, goes up to the guy, squares up. Fucking takes a shot, all he can do. Knocks the guy out 1 blow. Unbelievable. The guy's just passed out on the ground. This dude's super pumped up, just jazzed, I got the next one now, this is it. Bartender's that's fucking impressive. You got the guy, that's pretty good. So he goes in the door and everything like that. And bartender's sitting there, waiting, and he hears the struggle. He hears the dog just going crazy, and the fight is going on for fucking 15 minutes with this guy doing the business, trying to get that shit out, and he's like, God damn, man, this is ever gonna happen? This dog's going crazy, and finally the guy comes out, and he's just his clothes are shredded and all this stuff, and he's like, all right, man, it took fucking 25 minutes, but that dog came all over the place. Now, where's that grandma's sore tooth, man?
I've heard that one before.
Oh, man.
All right,
moving on.
All right, this is my go-to joke. This is my bread and butter. This is the one.
By the way, end the joke. I'm gonna cry. For some reason, I'm gonna laugh so fucking hard.
No, it's not that one.
No. Next time.
The next one. But this one is the first joke. I was I'm gonna memorize this joke. It's not that long, but I am gonna memorize it. My uncle told me this joke. My uncle, he has he's just every day just a new fucking crude ass joke. So, all right. So a guy walks into a bar. He goes right up to the bartender. He says, I need 10 shots of tequila right now. Bartender goes, all right, whatever, and pours out 10 individual shots, one after the other. The guy takes it. Boom, 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 all 10 in a row, just no time. The bartender looks at him like, geez, what's going on? What's the special occasion? The guy goes, oh, I just had my first blowjob. Bartender goes, oh, well, in that case, here's an extra shot on the house. The guy goes, if those first 10 shots didn't get that taste out of my mouth, I don't know what will. Bing, bang, boom, easy. Fucking man.
I got another bartender joke.
Let's do it. Crow, what you got?
Dude, I ain't ready for this right now.
All right, you know what? Next time.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah,
All right.
Wasn't prepped for the joke cast tonight.
We'll have our own little joke segment where we bestow jokes upon you.
Yeah, joke every cast. That's what you should be.
There you
I don't
go.
have that many, though, so we're not doing that.
All right, so here's my bartender joke. So, guy walks into a bar. There's a whole crowd of people standing around the bartender, and guy walks in. He's like, "Hey, what's the commotion, man?" And the guy's like, one of the guys standing at the bar is like, "Man, this bartender's a genius. He just came up with the coolest thing. Ask him what's up." And the bartender's like, "Okay, so here's the deal. I grew these apples, right? And I grew them in a whole bunch of flavors, and they taste like two different things. Tell me what you want. Drinks, name them." The guy's like, "All right. How about a Jack and Coke?" So the bartender goes rummaging through, and he comes up with an apple. Big, nice-looking apple, nice and shiny, right? The guy takes a bite, and he's like, "Oh, wow, that tastes like Coke." He's like, "But what about the Jack?" He's like, "Well, turn the apple around and taste the other side." So he takes a bite of the apple. He's like, "Wow, that's Jack Daniels, man. That's cool. What else you got?" He's like, "Hey, man, you name it. I came up with it." And he's like, he's thinking. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to drink." He's like, "How about this? Do you have an apple that tastes like pussy?" So the bartender's like, "You know what? I do." So he goes down, and he's rummaging through, and he comes up with another apple. It's another good-looking apple, and the guy takes a big bite. He's just ready for a mouthful of pussy. Takes a bite of this apple. And he gets just a terrible look on his face. And he looks at the bartender, and he's like, "Oh, man, this apple tastes like shit." And the bartender's like, "Turn it around."
That's the best.
The best part is you having your girlfriend walk by.
Yeah. Your girlfriend will walk by.
Full of pussy.
She's just shaking her head. "You boys, do what you want, whatever." That's the best. I think we got to go back to yours because mine's a little too dirty to.
Yeah, I think yours is the showstopper, the ender of all jokes. But this joke is becoming my new favorite joke.
It's the Adult Swim of all jokes, by the way.
It is the Tim and Eric of all jokes. Yeah. So
That sounds great.
So a guy walks into a bar.
Very good, very good.
He goes up to the bartender, orders a drink, and he looks over at the end of the bar, and there's this guy with this big orange head, just huge, giant, bright orange head. And he's like
the Syracuse College mascot.
Yeah,
Giant
exactly.
orange head.
Just, you can't miss it, So you can't miss that big ass orange head. So he looks back at the bartender. He's like, "What the fuck is up with that guy's head?" And the bartender goes, "Well, maybe if you buy him a drink, he'll tell you the story." And so he goes, "All right, well, let me, get another beer." And so he takes the beer down to the guy, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And the guy goes, "Let me guess. You want to hear about the head, right?" And so he hands him the beer, and he's like, "Yeah, of course I want to hear about your big fucking head." So the guy starts telling him the story, and he goes, well, one day I was walking down the beach, and I saw this little glimmer in the sand, and I went digging, and turned out it was a lamp, like the one in the movies, like the genies come out of. And he's like, I don't really think anything's going to happen, but just in case, let me just rub it, and then I'll fucking toss it back and keep walking. No one's around. No one will see me be dumb like this. So he rubs it. Fucking lo and behold, motherfucking genie comes out of the goddamn lamp. Guy nearly shits his pants. Genie goes, I will grant you 3 wishes, whatever you want. You know, no limitations, no ifs, ands, or buts, just 3 wishes. So the guy's thinking, all right, you know, this is probably bullshit. You know, I'm dreaming or something. This isn't real, but you know, if this is real, let me how about I have, you know, like the hottest wife in the world, and she will just do whatever I want, my beck and call, just, you know, be my sexual slave, and just faithful and amazing body, beautiful. Genie goes, all right, you know, he does his little thing, and he goes, look out to the waves, and out of the waves comes walking this just gorgeous Jessica Alba looking woman, comes up to him, just starts kissing him, and says, you know, I'm here for whatever you need me for. The guy goes, oh shit, well this is for real. This is real wishes. All right. So the second one, I want an unlimited amount of money. Genie goes, all right. The guy's just standing there. Well, where is it? Check your pockets. He starts pulling out all these fucking all these dollar bills, y'all, and all this gold and silver, and you know, whenever you want it, just reach in your pocket and it'll be there for you, you know, unlimited amount. So he goes, well, shit, all right, well, you know, and he's thinking real hard on the last one, and at this point in the story, he turns to the guy at the bar and says, you know, this is, you know, I think this is where it went all downhill for me. This is where I made my mistake, you know. My third wish was, I wished for a big orange head.
That's where I really dropped the ball.
I really just messed this one up, man. I don't know what happened. I was drunk with a new wife, all kinds of money. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's where I dropped the ball, man.
It's the best.
The dumbest joke that's ever come out of anybody ever.
And please, if you repeat this joke, just try and draw it out.
Yeah.
Put in so many details.
The best part is just swear I dropped the ball, man. This is where I made that fatal mistake.
I really went wrong here.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Last thing's the dirtiest thing. So if you don't want to hear a dirty joke, just turn us off. Turn us off. Because this is not good. So this couple, right?
Oh fuck.
Perfect couple. People in, you know, late 20s, beautiful couple, man and woman. Woman's pregnant, going to the hospital. You know, guys rushing to the hospital. They get the doctors, whatever, the
going to labor,
fucking labor room, bitch, whatever the fuck it's called. Anyways, so the woman's on her back, you know, giving birth to the baby, and the guys, you know, the husband's right there holding her hand, and doctors, you know, everything medically is completely correct, and she's like, you know, just go ahead and just push, and she's screaming, you know, pushing the baby out. The guy's holding her hand, you know, you're doing so great, honey, you're doing so great, and then, you know, the baby's coming out, and she's giving it her all, and finally the doctor's just, give me one more push, and she screams, and the baby comes out, and the guy pulls it out, the doctor pulls the baby out and goes, oh my God, it's so beautiful, you know, congratulations. And the couple just looks at each other all warm and heartfelt, so excited to have a newborn in the world, and doctor gets the child and drops it on the ground, and then he kicks the baby across the room. Just kicks the baby. And the couple is screaming bloody murder. What the fuck? What are you doing? Doctor runs over to the baby again, picks the baby up, kicks it again across the room. Now they are up in arms. They have no idea what the hell's happening, dream or not. Like, no idea. Guy stops, you know, the husband or whatever. What the fuck are you doing to our child? Doctor goes, dude, just relax. Your baby was already dead.
No! And that's That's been it for episode 26 of If Lance Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
Samhain Crow.
Peppermint Swirl.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Later.
That was horrible.
Oh my god, I hadn't heard that.
Alright,
Done it. Yeah, absolutely.
let me see if I can fire this one off properly. I've had some trouble telling it in the past. And no, it's not the fucking the aristocrats joke, because everybody knows that one.
Everybody, it's a movie, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think I know it.
Yeah, you don't know the.
You'll have to watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
It's an hour and a half long of the same joke.
I don't have the time to fucking tell that joke. I'll just drag it on. So,
That's for big orange. The thing is, there's your blooper reel right there. The joke requires people that you will find out that are your best friends. If they don't laugh at it, you're like, oh, go fuck yourself.
yeah, I didn't know you were an idiot.
Yeah.
Holy shit, like, that was funny right now. I kind of wish the first time we had that was that first go, because holy shit, that was retarded.
No, I would have shit my pants, actually.
Oh my god. It would have been like 10 minutes of straight laughter recorded. Like, fuck.
Oh my god. Okay, so there's these 4 nuns. You know, they're going on a trip to, pilgrimage to, do some good work out in the inner cities,
Oh, okay.
And, there's a horrible accident on the freeway, a big pileup, and unfortunately, everyone on the bus, died.
Didn't make it.
They didn't make it. So, I think you might have told this one also. So they all find themselves at the pearly gates, and they're like, hey, good thing we were good people our whole lives, and we were nuns and devoted ourselves to God, because this shit's real. And so they didn't say shit.
That's part of the joke. Don't say that.
If it's not, it should be. That's a good one to start it off.
And that's the joke, though. And then Jesus came out and he had big orange head.
Okay, that's your blooper.